Welcome to the morning after CFFL edition, week 10 on the CFFL network, network on YouTube. I'm your host, here with you again. This week we're going to be looking at week 10 as the playoffs quickly approach. First big message, because I usually forget to say this, the field goal vote passed. So next year, every field goal, 49 yards and below is worth 3. Anything above 50 is worth 4. The 5-point field goal will go away. 7 people have voted so far. Everyone has voted in favor of the change, so it is passed. That'll happen next year. There won't be any more poll questions dealing with rule changes this year. There might be 1 or 2 more, just dealing with just normal league stuff. So let's get into the week that was. First of all, we saw the Sasquatches put up 103 points as they take down the Kongs, 103-36. The Thomases, Demarius and Pierre, led the Sasquatches with 41 points combined. Kongs, no players in double figures, which is kind of a running theme this week in our league for teams who lost. Kongs fall to 7-3 after starting out 7-1. The injuries starting to pile up for the Kongs. Rogers is out, and there was some injuries to Tony Gonzalez, so we'll see on there for the Kongs. Next, we had the Bone Storm take down the Bruisers, 67-28. The Bruisers fall to 5-5. Bone Storm moved to 6-4. No players in double figures for the Bruisers. Peyton Manning and A.J. Green combined for 37 points for the Bone Storm as they keep on rolling. Garbage Men put up 100 points as they take down the Badgers, 100-54. Badgers fall to 2-8, looking like possibly a first to worst this year, although the Badgers have had some decent points, so we'll see if they can string together a few wins. The Garbage Men right now are on pace to break the record for most points per week in a season. They're at 75. Record is at 72, 3 weeks left. Hauschka and Cooper, yes, Stephen Hauschka and Riley Cooper led the Garbage Men this week with 37 points combined. Drew Brees was also good, but those two were surprising good. Russell Wilson had 14 for the Badgers. Team LBM takes down the Horned Dogs, 68-43. LBM moves to 7-3, tied for the division lead. The Horned Dogs fall to 4-6, right on the edge of the playoff picture. One more loss and they're probably out. Calvin Johnson and Brandon Marshall combined for 35 points. Andre Johnson had another big week for the Horned Dogs as he has 13 points. So he's been strong. But unfortunately, the rest of the Horned Dogs have not. We also had the upset of the week this week as the Cardinals were favored by 29, but they fall to the Donkeys, 49-44. Blair Walsh, former Cardinals player, had 11 points to lead the Donkeys. The Cardinals, week 9, had 11 touchdowns on their non-quarterbacks. This week, 0. Painful loss for the Cardinals. They fall to 7-3. Finally, this week, in the battle of teams that were fighting for their playoff lives, the Gargoyles advance. Well, keep their hopes alive anyway. They beat the Black Dingoes 45-31. They moved to 4-6. Tannehill had 12 points for the Dingoes, his only player in double figures. And the Arizona defense for the Gargoyles had 11 points in a big week for them if they keep their hopes alive. Now we're going to take a look at our usual stuff, player of the week, and then also we're going to take a look at the playoff picture this week. But first, who was the player of the week? This week, Cole players of the week. Drew Brees, Demarius Thomas, both had 24 points this week. Drew Brees, typical game for him. And Demarius Thomas, though, did have 3 touchdowns, which was big. Carries the Holzbauers both of them helped carry the Holzbauers to wins. Walk of shame this week goes to me. My 6-game win streak was snapped after being favored by 29 points. Also, this is a lesson to everyone, you never pull a player Sunday morning. I pulled Zach Stacy and Julius Thomas at 11 a.m. I did put T.Y. Hilton in, so the Julius Thomas one wasn't big. But Chris Johnson, thanks for coming up big for me against that last-ranked Jaguars defense. Zach Stacy had 9, and Chris Johnson had 3. I lost by 5. Yeah, not fun. Jovich, the top free agent pickup this week, but not too difficult this time. Tavon Austin, 19 points. He only had 2 receptions, but for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think that's kind of what everyone expected from him, to have those big plays, so I'm sure he'll be a top pickup this week. Now we go to Griff's gripes. His gripe this week is about ESPN. Hey ESPN, newsflash, we don't care about the Richie Incognito story. I love how ESPN takes every sports-related story with a social context and rams it down our throats for weeks, from Jason Collins to Aaron Hernandez to Riley Cooper to the Boston Marathon bombing and now bullying. We watch ESPN as a distraction from the rest of the ugly world. Just give us the damn game highlights with stats, please. Well, Griff, they do that. It's just if it's Miami Heat, LA Lakers, New York Jets, those type of things. Yeah, they'll kind of focus on those you right afterwards. It is annoying how they do that, and they really pick and choose who they want to focus on. So I'm with you on that one, Griff. This week, a couple big games coming up. In terms of the North Division, we had the Bruisers taking on the Sasquatches. Their Bruisers' last gasp, as they do have the longest playoff drought in the CFFL. Back till I think 2010 now, or is it 2009? They're taking on the Sasquatches. A loss by them pretty much guarantees the Sasquatches with the division title. I think all but officially. Also, the Garbage Men take on the Bone Storm in a battle of the Central Division. 6-4 versus 6-4. The winner's got a pretty good chance still to win the division. The loser, still looking pretty good for the wild card. But we'll go from there. This week, a reminder: the trade deadline is on tomorrow. Trades have to be accepted by 11 a.m. Before now, I added this picture-in-picture now. I figured out how to do that. Let's take a look at the playoff picture and kind of look at where things stand. First of all, we got the race for the home field advantage. Cardinals right now lead it. They're at 7-3. Kong sitting the second seed. They're at 7-3. Team LBM is number 3 in the home field advantage race. They're on a couple points behind the Kongs, but if the playoffs were to start, they would actually be the 4th seed because they're not a division leader. The other teams that are still in the race, the Garbage Men, the Bone Storm, and the Sasquatches, all 6-4. All of them very close in points. Garbage Men have more points than anyone. Bone Storm and Sasquatches are close to the Cardinals in terms of points. Taking a look at the remaining schedule, Cardinals have all teams just have their division left. Cardinals play 2 teams with winning records. The Kongs play only 1 team with a winning record, same with Team LBM. The Sasquatches play no team with a winning record. So it'll be interesting. The Sasquatches have a pretty good road right now, it looks like, to at least get a bye in the first round, if not total home field. In terms of the playoff picture, in terms of the wild card, Team LBM is looking good. They are in with a win or a Bruiser loss. Garbage Men and Bone Storm, one of them will fall to 6-5, so a victory by the Bruisers would not only put them in the division race, but also tie them for that last wild card. Horn Dogs and Sasquatches need to win out and, cross their fingers. Stranger things have happened, but we will see here in the coming weeks. That's it for this week. Like I said, that rule changed. Trade deadline is tomorrow. We have a short show this week. It was pretty effective and quick. We'll keep looking at the playoff picture as each week goes, so good luck to everyone in week number 11. Talk to you guys next week.